Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this SOONAN 8-piece mini plier set. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost anything extra. These are made of high hardness carbon steel. They have 2-color molding. There's nickel iron treatment for rust protection. If we look on the back here, we see the 8 different styles. So we have side cutters, needle nose, linesman pliers, end cutting pliers, round nose pliers, flat nose pliers, round nose pliers, and long nose pliers. So let's get these open and take a look. So we have this nice case. Let's open this up. And here we have the selection of pliers. So let's pull some out. So these are the flat bladed pliers. So this is a softer rubber on the outside, and then on the inside it's kind of a plastic, but there's a little give to it. This has a spring on it, and it looks like they all have that same spring. Let's look at the alignment of the jaws. The alignment looks good. Let's look at some of the other ones. Here are the long needle nose. Alignment on those looks good. Here are the end cutters. So those are a little bit stiff. Now if you work them in, they'll come open. There's always a balance between having some play and having some stiffness in there. These are some stubbier needle nose. They have a cutter in there. These are the round nose pliers for bending wire and such. Side cutters. And I'm not feeling any play in any of these pliers. These are bent nose pliers. Tips are very even. And these are the little mini lineman pliers. So these have serrated edges on them and a cutter. See the tip there? So we have a nice selection of pliers here. So there's lots of applications for pliers like this. You can use them for jewelry, electronics, general purpose. So I do have some wire here. This is a 14 gauge wire. Let's try cutting it with some of this. So the lineman plier would be good for that. So I'll cut the end off. Cuts nicely. I can straighten this out. Now this isn't necessarily the preferred tool to strip a wire, but we can try stripping it with this. So I'll just partially cut through this. Pull that off. We have the rounding pliers. We can try these. So we want a larger roundness. We'll go down here. We can round that over. Now if we want to straighten that back out, we can use these straightening pliers. I can just squeeze that and straighten it back out. Of course, we also have the side cutters. We can just cut that end off. And we're back to where we started. Here I have some thinner steel type wire. Now this is probably a little thicker than what you would use in like jewelry making, but we can still use these tools here. So I could put a turn in there, then come back and turn the other way, and we have a little S hook. And here I've made a little spring type thing. Now there might be cases where you need to cut the end off, so you can use the end nippers here. Now you do need to be careful, that can send little bits flying, but we've got that cut. And the lineman and these other needle nose have a serrated edge on it, so you can get a good grip. So I'm gripping onto there. It's going to bite into that really well. Could probably even use this to, say, bend wire. Like so. Of course, you can use these for more than just bending wire. Pliers like these would also be great for holding components when soldering or doing other detailed work. I really think these will come in handy with these tiny tips on there, so you can get into really tight spaces with these. And the clearance on that tip is pretty good. So that's the SOONAN 8-piece mini plier set. If you're looking for a set of pliers to do detailed work like jewelry or electronics, or just general repair work, I think that's a great option. It comes in this nice little case. Now we can put that flap in if we want, and that could easily fit in a tool bag or toolbox. If you say do crafts at a trade show, you can put this in your gear and you can open it up and you have all of your tools at your disposal. When you're using them, you can pull them outside of the straps and just kind of leave them in place. And then when you're traveling with them, you can tuck them in, but they all fit in there very nicely. I like that there's a wide variety of pliers here. So depending on your need, you can use the right tool for the job. So if you want to make nicer curves, you could use these round pliers. If you don't need that, you could use the regular needle nose. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.